Hi, my name is Giles Panton, and I play Max on Chalkboard Prison. I auditioned for Stanley Purdy first. Yes, but my inner just shone so brightly that Max was bright. It was perfect. Oh, there's something fun. There's something really fun about playing the dregs of society. Max is... I wouldn't say he's the baddest person you could be, but he's definitely a jerk. There's something fun about playing jerks. It's just so much fun. I would say he is a power abusing jerk, and there's something very fun about that. Mm-hmm. Maybe because it's so verboten in society. You don't want to. It goes against. We all have our moments, mind you, but it goes so against who I really am that there's something fun. There's something freeing about pushing the boundaries of like, oh, that guy. Ugh. I love working with Richard. I've only ever worked with him for voice work, actually, so this was fun to work with him on camera. He's such a funny guy in real life, and it's fun to watch him work on something like this. So that was great for me too. It was such a collaboration for me. Given a bunch of my students a chance to be in their first project was really cool. Also, I teach voice work. Animation, video game, that kind of thing, and probably 4 or 5 of my students came out, and they were background on set, and they were all in right away. They were basically involved in some pretty amazing stuff. So that was there's so many aspects for me that were great about it. Been a lot of friendships that kind of came together on camera there, and I believe that was my first time working with Andrew as well. No, that's not true. I worked with Andrew years ago, but just a lot of great people in this project. I mean, as with anyone who's a real jerk, there are very few true sociopaths out there. So they got the biggest bark protects the biggest vulnerability, right? So Max is an insecure dude, and he covers it up with just being a big old cocky, loudmouth, never get a second date guy, basically. So interesting that he should choose the prison system. That's an aspect where he can feel powerful, where he can get all this. I could see he probably wasn't allowed to become a border guard because he crossed the line a bit too much. So he snuck his way in over there because he's such an innocent, like naive guy in so many ways. And yes, as we learn, he's actually quite competent and very adaptive. But for a guy like Max, what a delicious treat. A rather unexpected gift. We knew a new teacher was coming in. We'd heard a rumor. It was rather sudden, but we heard something about it, and here he is. What better person to mess around with than Stanley Purdy? For Max, that's his perfect day. Yeah. He's not going to want to remember his awful situation. He's only going to ever want to look at himself as king. Deep down in there, he's still a human being. Mm-hmm. He hasn't lost his conscience. Yeah, but that's a tale for another day. Mm-hmm. Max isn't a kingpin. He's more like the schoolyard bully that's bullied at home. But he's just had a lot more years to perfect it now, so he's that much more vicious. Mm. But there is still a line for him too. He would still jump in to help Stanley if his life was actually in danger. He's probably happy to watch him get a punch or two, but there's a line. There is a line to which Max will start being a human being again. Well, start being compassionate, I guess. It is a very human quality to be a jerk. So, yeah. Oh, Walter. Walter. Wow. Max has to wonder how the heck Walter ever got that job in the first place, or whether he's just slowly going like senile or something. Maybe he was great at one point, and now Walter's losing it. Max really feels like he's the boss around town. Walter just happens to have the keys to the kingdom, but you know what? I imagine Max has convinced himself that's as it should be because he doesn't want that level of responsibility anyway, and if someone goes down, whose head's on the chopping block? Walter. Max will steer clear. And Max is pretty good at manipulating the system, though Linda's character, well, she's a handful, that's for sure. Oh, she's a battle axe, huh? Nancy. Yeah, she's basically Max's kryptonite. She's like a strong, intelligent woman. I think Nancy's the toughest nut for Max to crack, which is why he has to work overtime around her. I don't know where he'd go to get the upper hand. I think he might have settled into a respectful truce with her. He probably tried in the beginning, and I imagine she embarrassed him royally at least twice. And maybe he settled into like, okay, like tread lightly around the tiger. We can still make jokes, but we know the framework around that one. Just like any new criminal who comes in. Like, I imagine Max has been hit a couple times too as he's learned the ropes of that place. There's a way that society likes to look to others to validate that they're doing okay. And it can get twisted. You can notice it especially with the way that we like to build up our celebrity and then tear them down. The way there's such an almost a fascination with watching someone burn, because it's like at the end of the day you can say, hey, no matter how messed up I am, it's nowhere near that. Like, I'm doing okay. So I think Max uses the prisoners to prop himself up, where he's like, hey, look, these guys have messed up. I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm doing great actually. Like, I'm fantastic. Max uses them as an everyday reminder of his greatness. Max could not survive in any other job. I mean, I think he's got such a low opinion of himself deep down that he needs to literally compare himself to guys who've made some of the worst decisions in society in order to feel like a king. It's a clever concept. It's very well executed, very funny. Got a bunch of unique characters. It's almost like Seinfeld in prison. Or like a modern, like Arrested Development or any of those shows, in the sense that you got really well-defined, unique, quirky characters that are still believable. I think you from the moment I read the script, I thought it was a great package. So yeah, funny, quirky, believable, like prison comedy with a twist of a big fish out of water story where you've got a guy with the biggest heart who's just trying to hold his life together. And he goes into like a den of wolves and somehow manages to survive through a series of hilarious, brutal failures. Basically, yeah. We love to laugh at the misfortune of others, and this show is all about that. Yeah. I've never truly been in prison. We can all feel trapped by our circumstance, but there's a big difference between being literally told when you need to you can only eat now, you gotta get out of your room now, like you're wearing this, you're wearing that, like to have your day totally mapped out aside from maybe some free hours of between lights out and lights on and when you're in the field. I don't know if anyone can really understand that unless you've been there. I think this show, given a big enough run, will have moments to highlight just the true humanity of what it means to be in prison. Maybe the failures of the system, maybe some of the reasons why it exists, all of the above, so that it's not slapstick. I mean, there's a reality to it. So any good comedy is 85 to 90% reality with a bit of just awful observation thrown in, or acute observation. And I think what makes this show unique and great is that it manages to find hilarity in potentially one of the places where we could use the most work in our society. Max is going to find fault with everything, because that's Max. Max needs to find fault in something in order to feel superior, so that I can't be bested by the perfect burger. Like, oh, it was too soft. Whatever it is. I mean, there may be brief moments when gives something a pass, but I definitely think Max feels there's tons of room for improvement, and he's more than willing to tell everyone about how they can make things better every day of their lives.
Would Max, in your estimation, turn in a guilty guard, a dirty guard?
Not if he can turn it to his advantage. Depending how dirty they are. I think within reason. I think if it crosses the line of like, this is justifiably dangerous, Max will anonymously tournament. I think he's smart. He doesn't want. Max understands vendettas. For real, especially in a system like this. I mean, even if he doesn't want his car keyed, but if someone's a fellow employee and they're resourceful enough, they can get all sorts of information you don't want. So treat them all as potential enemies. But yeah, if a guard's broken enough rules to the point where it's gonna put me in a target or potentially hurt a bunch of people, like not in a laughing way, but actually seriously hurt them, then yeah, Max will tournament.
What is his greatest fear?
I mean, realistically, just public embarrassment, the sham of his arrogant story being torn apart in front of people. So he makes sure people remember him. And what better way to keep their name, your name on their mind than if they despise you. If as long as they fear you, they'll remember you. The casting is as close to perfect as I imagine you could have gotten. You guys, well, you brought some good people in, so you made a good hit. I think it's on the merit of the script as well, because you wouldn't necessarily get the caliber of people out that you did if it wasn't for a good script. That was a big part for me too. I took a look at it. Not to mention my relationship with Andrew, but the talent reflects the quality of the script as well. So that's a big thing. It was a pleasure to work with everybody. Yeah, at this point I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Walter or Nancy or Stanley. It was great casting. And of course Max. No. I mean, this is truly an ensemble piece, and I mean, this can go. You can throw anything you want at this thing. Just the bones of it are so versatile. I mean, you could do anything you wanted. You have a prison break. You could have budget cuts. You could have brand new teacher rolls into town. You could have some crazy kingpin, like large prisoner gets transferred from another prison and just shakes everything up. And power outage. Anything you wanted. This thing has limitless options. I mean, you could have a great bake-off. Like seriously, whatever. What's cool about this show is it's the characters are just quirky enough that you can throw any real world and any fantastical situation in there, and it'll strike as working within this universe. So, yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. See, here's the deal. Like whether you know it or not, this writer has intimate experience with this profession, which gives him such a unique insight. And also, like, nothing is funnier than the truth for the most part. So the crap he's seen lends very well to this I don't know, this like Arrested Development, literally arrested environment. I know I referenced that show, but this feels like a cousin in just feeling of zaniness and everything else. Yeah. When I'm laughing working on a project, like, I know it's good material. And like, laughing for the right reasons. Do you know what I mean? Not like, oh, look at it. No, I mean, I genuinely was laughing, reading the script and laughing on set. And when I'm having fun, that says a lot about the quality of the project. I want to say, hey, give this thing a shot. I did. I loved it. I loved the script. I've worked in this industry a long time, and it's rare to come across a comedic project this tight, especially a Canadian one. And I would recommend picking this up and running with it, because I thought it was brilliant, and I think you will too.